Right.
So what's up, Luis?
How's it going, Mike?
Good, man.
So I'm Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena from right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Graduated from Little Rock Central High School, and I'm actually going to be on the next upcoming season of The Ultimate Fighter. That's season 27. The Ultimate Fighter undefeated, Team DC versus Team Stipe Miocic.
Man, that's pretty awesome. You know, I was on season 10. This is 27 seasons long now, and you could be part of the heritage of that. Another gentleman was on season 8, Rolly Delgado, who's a good friend of mine too. And man, tell us about that experience. How was it going into that house? When you go into a house like that, at least when I was there was a lot of animosity. I was on the heavyweight season. So tell me about that experience when you go into that house and you can't have communication with the outside world. Like, you see nothing. Tell us about that.
Man, you just, in that house, you have no clue what it's like. You're cut off from your family, your friends, TV, entertainment for 6 weeks. I'm talking, we were quite literally in there 6 weeks at a time. You're training 2 hours a day, twice a day.
2 times a day. What about Saturday and Sunday? Nothing on Sunday. Oh.
Saturday, you're training on Saturday.
Yeah.
Then you
One
got
time.
No, we still had 2-a-days
Did
on
you?
Saturdays.
Oh, good.
Then we'd have a 3-hour open mat, and then between all of that, guess what? All you're doing is sitting at home cooking or eating or just laying there on the couch doing nothing. The great thing about that was this season I had this season I had Bryce Mitchell, Thug Nasty, on this season with me. So Bryce and I were able to, kind of link up in the house and keep ourselves entertained.
What a great experience, man! Another person from Arkansas gets to be on the same show with you. That's great.
Had an alliance, huh?
Yeah, I know. That's one of those things. People really don't understand how crazy that scenario is. Not only did Bryce and I grow up in the same town of Cabot, Arkansas, we both went to Cabot High School. I ended up graduating from Central, but we wrestled on the high school wrestling team. And then Bryce was also my very first training partner in MMA. Like, quite literally, the very first day I walked into Westside for my first day of MMA training, Bryce was the first person they ever paired me up with.
So tell us about your team affiliation with here in Little Rock or wherever that you're at.
So here in Little Rock, I keep affiliated with Westside MMA and Rock City MMA. I've trained, my first two coaches were Matt Hamilton and Rolly Delgado. My boxing coach was Boris Washington. And then I transitioned over to Rock City under Nathan Kirby. But then a couple years ago, I moved to St. Louis, and now I'm actually up in St. Louis, Missouri. I train with Mike Rogers in St. Charles at St. Charles MMA. He's a black belt under Rodrigo Vaghi and a former King of the Cage light heavyweight champion.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. So I mean, think about that. People don't understand how rare that is. Out of millions, billions of people in the world, you get picked with another local boy that you went to high school and you get put in a house. That's rare. I felt blessed to be out of 16 people in the world. I got to be in that house. You and a friend get to be together.
Yeah, in the timing of it.
So
yes.
One of the things Bryce and I even talked about in the house is a little-known website from back in the day called CabotFights.com. If you were an OG veteran of the streets of Cabot, Arkansas, you knew about CabotFights.com. It was one of those things where, we all us kids got together. We had little backyard, forum chatter back and forth, had little backyard fights, and you were famous for a week in Cabot, Arkansas, if you made it on the front page of CabotFights.com. And then for both of us to go from there to the Ultimate Fighter to the UFC, like, it's insane, man.
Especially with the same timing.
Exactly, at the same time, the same season.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Being in that house, people don't realize what they take everything from you. You go from being a grown adult to having no responsibility, and your only outlet is a list. And they tell you every morning, put whatever you want to eat on that list, because that's all you get to do is cook and sit. No Bible, no communication. You don't know what. You don't hear a song. We were on there for 9 weeks. We were in that house for 9 weeks. You don't hear music, nothing. You go nuts.
Dude, it's crazy. Eventually, I started talking to myself. I started having, complete conversations with myself. I'd wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, nothing to do. I'm the only guy up in the house. I'm like, what am I going to do? The great thing was just all the accommodations we had. the cool little grotto we had with the hot tub and everything. That was a nice little relaxing spot. So whenever anyone wasn't around, I try to.
Tell us of the privacy.
Oh man, the only time we ever
or
had
lack thereof.
Yes.
the lack thereof. That's exactly what it was. The only time we ever had any privacy was in the bathroom.
Shower curtain.
Shower
curtain. We could only be totally when the shower curtain
And
shut.
so you think?
Man, hey, I put it on a show. I was Mike Honcho one time.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, my strategy for getting privacy, I just come out the shower butt naked. Cameras leave you alone then.
Now, here, that's funny. You bring that up about the camera guys. Now, once you sit in that house for so many weeks, you become friends with them. Did you start having secret signals back and forth? We call them trees. We'd say the trees are around. Be careful.
Oh man, of course, we all had secret signals. The great thing was like we finally started like getting really cool with some of the camera guys. So like when we would start like getting in moments, they'd start finally like leaving us alone. But then obviously it's their job to just sit there. Like the worst thing is you're sitting there, a guy's just lost a fight, and all of a sudden the camera's right there in his face. Like, where are you
trying
going?
to get some emotion. They used to like we'd mess with them or we'd trip them and just kind of play around with them. Once we became friends and everything else. Well, what they'd do is they'd come at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning when you were sleeping and kick your bed and have the camera on you, and one would like flatulate and then flip you off as they backed because you couldn't say nothing to them. You weren't allowed to talk to them. So
They better hope there's no way with PTSD on the show.
So man, that was a great experience for you to be there. What can you tell us that's coming for you? When is everything going to go down for you? When is it going to air? What's going on?
So the first episode of The Ultimate Fighter, featuring myself, Luis Pena, and Bryce Mitchell, airs this April 18th on Fox Sports 1.
Nice. Fox Sports 1, we're going to see you every week.
Yes, sir. Every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, you can catch
And how
my
long is
lovely afro on Fox Sports 1. It's Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena, folks.
How many episodes do you know?
I think we're looking at 12 episodes, with the 13th being the finale.
Awesome. Season 27 of The Ultimate Fighter. He's going to be
Season
on. That's
27.
Awesome. Him and Bryce Mitchell.
Ladies and
Don't
gentlemen,
forget, folks, the coaches' fight at the end of this season is for the heavyweight championship between current light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier and the reigning, defending heavyweight champion that just broke the record for most title defenses in history, Stipe Miocic.
ladies and gentlemen, give Luis Pena, our own Ultimate Fighter, a round of applause. Thank you.